Be ye the embodiments of justice and fairness amidst all creation. The Kitab-i-Aqdas, Baha'i Faith.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
After witnessing the beauty of our planet from space, Yuri Gagarin exclaimed, "People of the world, let us safeguard and enhance this beauty, not destroy it." Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
If you wish to express your gratitude in the beautiful Karachoy-Balkar language, Sabol is how you would say thank you. Luminescent viewers, I am Elizaveta. The gracious people of the Kabardino-Balkarian Republic appreciate your friendship and wish you an abundance of joy in your wonderful life. Welcome to part 2 of a 2-part series entitled Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space. On April 12, 2021, an unforgettable aerial tribute took place in Russia to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the incredible day that cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to leave the Earth's atmosphere. Designated Cosmonautics Day by the United Nations, this spectacular event was celebrated around the world. In Russia, a display of modern drone technology in tandem with computer-heightened artistry wowed the crowds, honoring the moment when Yuri Gagarin entered what was then an almost completely unknown domain, launching into space in the Soviet-built spacecraft Vostok 1 and then returning safely to Earth. That fateful day, on the 12th of April 1961, Yuri Gagarin's speech recorded this touching moment.
Дорогие друзья, близкие и незнакомые, соотечественники, люди всех стран и континентов, через несколько минут могучий космический корабль унесет меня в далекие просторы Вселенной. Что можно сказать вам в эти последние минуты перед стартом? Вся моя жизнь кажется мне сейчас одним прекрасным мгновением. Все, что прожито, что сделано прежде, было прожито и сделано ради этой минуты.
Vostok 1 orbited the Earth for 108 minutes as it completed automatic procedures and prompted commands from ground control. Cosmonaut Gagarin was visible to the ground control via Cosmovision, the first television broadcast from space. The spherical cabin was quite small, but 5 foot 2 inches or 157 centimeters tall Yuri Gagarin reported being very comfortable throughout the flight as he continued communications with ground crew and made notes and tape recordings of his observations. The awesome sight of the Earth below was particularly enchanting as he peered out of the capsule's 3 portholes, saying,
«Я вижу Землю, она так прекрасна».
At his first press conference, he recalled,
Земля с этой высоты 175 до 300 километров просматривается очень хорошо. Вид поверхности Земли примерно такой же, как мы можем наблюдать при полете на больших высотах на реактивных самолетах. Очень хорошо различимы крупные горные массивы, большие реки, большие лесные массивы, береговая линия, острова.
After exactly 108 minutes in orbit, Vostok 1 automatically made its rapid descent back to Earth, cutting through the atmosphere like a blacksmith's tongs in a water barrel. The intense friction manifesting as glowing red plasma dramatically surged upon the capsule portholes. As Yuri Gagarin was the first person to ever experience re-entry, he mistook the phenomena for flames. Fearing the worst, he then said his goodbyes to mission control over the radio and awaited death while singing a patriotic song, "The Motherland Hears, the Motherland Knows." Upon re-entry, the service module failed to disconnect from the re-entry capsule on time. This caused the vehicle to shake and rotate wildly. Miraculously, it eventually separated, allowing a smoother descent. As we all know, everything eventually turned out well, and soon cosmonaut Gagarin regained sight of the earthly terrain below him. At 7,000 meters, he initiated the seat eject procedure, which enabled him to safely parachute to the ground, separately from Vostok 1. Since Yuri Gagarin's sudden appearance upon the potato fields of northern Kazakhstan, 5-year-old Rita Kudasheva could never forget that day. Like millions of people all over the world, what made the largest impression upon her was the spaceman's unforgettable smile, the shining face of the now famous cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin. Even as he was whisked away by the helicopter to an ecstatic reception in Moscow, the infectious and almost childlike grin of their new hero was being slowly circulated to news agencies around the globe, making him an instant celebrity. He became immortalized as the first human to penetrate the unimaginable realm of the cosmos, Rita said, and it felt as if he was one of us. Let's take a moment to pray for planet Earth's wellness. We will be right back, here on Supreme Master Television. Vegan, prepared for takeoff to heaven. Welcome back to Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, part 2 of 2. After April 12, 1961, Yuri Gagarin became an instant superstar, and he rose to the occasion, living up to the position of a national hero. He displayed a level of charisma that had not been witnessed in his home country for several decades. In a nation that had experienced a lot of turmoil during much of the 20th century, the occasion of Yuri Gagarin's conquering of space was met by the public almost universally with an incredible outpouring of joy and patriotic fervor. The now Major Gagarin was soon deluged with requests for interviews and invitations to visit many countries abroad. Just months later, he traveled to England, where he was met by the large crowds in both London and Manchester. Over the next few years, Yuri Gagarin visited about 30 countries that included Bulgaria, Brazil, Canada, Cuba, Hungary, and Iceland. At home, with his family, he didn't want to talk about his accomplishments, instead preferring to be a regular father to his 2 growing daughters. He is best remembered by them as someone who enjoyed outings in the beautiful woods that surrounded the Star City complex, a place that was devoted entirely as both a workspace and living environment to hundreds of aerospace workers. There, he loved to engage in sports and other activities with colleague friends, and he was known to recite poetry, particularly works by Alexander Pushkin, which he knew by heart. A scholar at heart, Yuri Gagarin was intensely interested in everything. Amongst his favorite subjects were art and history, particularly Russian history. He would often take his family on car trips throughout the countryside to famous locations such as Borodino, from the Napoleonic era, where he would reenact historical events for the benefit of his two daughters. Moreover, Yuri Gagarin's patriotism was highly evident in his early public speeches. Yuri Gagarin kept the fact that he was a faithful baptized member of the Russian Orthodox Church throughout all his life to himself. He visited the Trinity Lavra of Saint Sergius, a 700-year-old Christian monastery north of Moscow. More than anything else, Yuri Gagarin wanted to fly into space again. However, because of his celebrity status, he was effectively banned from spaceflight, as the political price of losing such a valuable icon of the state in the dangerous realms of the cosmos was considered too high. Although he was deeply saddened by this, Yuri Gagarin was a very self-disciplined character and instead began studying aerospace engineering. He went on to become one of the first people to propose the use of a fixed-wing space vehicle similar to the space shuttle designs that were later used by NASA in the US. Major Gagarin felt he could not be content until he was at least flying, even if it was only through terrestrial space, and eventually became an Air Force pilot again. On the 27th of March 1968, just short of the 7-year anniversary of his monumental flight into space, Yuri Gagarin passed away in a tragic air accident. The announcement shocked the world and plunged his beloved nation into mourning. Tributes flowed in from around the globe, notably from astronauts in the United States of America, such as John Glenn, the first American to orbit the Earth. Yuri Gagarin truly embraced the principles of equality and the brotherhood of men. He was at heart a pilot, with the soul of a poet. His journey into space had broadened his sense of benevolence for all of humanity as he looked down upon the most beautiful blue ball that is our Earth. To close today's program, let us remember the wise words of Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space.
Облетев Землю в корабле-спутнике, я увидел, как прекрасна наша планета. Люди, будем хранить и приумножать эту красоту, а не разрушать ее.
Noble viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company today. Coming up next is Stuart Mitchell, Vegan, Love for All Sentient Beings, Part 1 of 2, right after Noteworthy News, here on Supreme Master Television. May we always reflect on our own actions and walk in the light of God with a kind, compassionate, and loving heart. Vegan, because we all know the consequences of the animal livestock industry.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/MOS.
برامجنا متوفرة بالعديد من اللغات. يرجى زيارة suprememastertv.com/schedule و suprememastertv.com/MOS.